Well, we're here with Philip Terry at Cincy AI Week 2025. Philip, thank you for being with us today.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
If you would just tell us about how you were first inspired to do the work that you do today.
Yeah, well, I had a love for music from birth, essentially. And as I got more into it, I started to understand you need to own your assets. You need to be able to own the music that you create. And that led me into blockchain, which obviously took me down that rabbit hole into Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, all of the things. And then that brought me into AI, where I understood that AI was essentially going to change the world. And I needed to also add that to what's the fix.
Yeah. What does authenticity mean to you in this digital world these days?
Authenticity, I think, is the one thing we still have and we'll always have as humans is, the AI will never be able to be human. So for us to be able to connect in person, even digitally, I think it really adds value to the world we're going to live in as we get more digital.
Yeah, that's good. What are the biggest or most important human skills that AI simply cannot replicate?
Right now, I do think we have a more empathetic self. I do, see more and more AI get closer and closer to that, but the flesh of us, I think, adds a comfortability when we're talking with other humans rather than talking with AI. So I think that, at least for now, as robotics gets crazy, there might be a different conversation.
Right. What's the biggest misconception you think people have about the AI creative process?
I think people think it's not real. I think people devalue our ability to bring our ideas to life faster. And I think that's where more of the AI is there for digital work, for creative work. And then I also think it doesn't hallucinate as much as people think that they used to. That always makes big headlines. And I do think it's accurate in projecting what we want if given the prompt correctly.
Yeah. What does it look like when AI and humans actually collaborate well? And have you seen a great example of that?
Yeah, I think it looks like a beautiful symphony, essentially. We're working together. It doesn't have to be an us versus them sort of mentality, but I do think it is important for us to work together. And ways I've seen that be good are, so I work a lot in the marketing space, and I'm able now to get, the nitty gritty done with my clients faster, so that now I could spend more time on call rather than filling out this data sheet or, creating this new presentation. Now I can get that done in the background while I'm having a conversation and then go back and fine tune it, of course.
What role should human emotion play in a world where AI content can be generated instantly in the push of a button?
Human emotion, I think, is, again, one of those things that we will have over AI. And I think to still value that as humans is going to be the role that we should take, and not trying to constantly put out, but more what value we're bringing to another human.
In your particular work, what does co-creation really look like?
For me, it works as getting done with the small tasks faster. So again, I'm able to, get song lyrics down quicker. I also do acting, and when I'm acting, I can have another acting partner there with me rather than having to go out and schedule time with somebody. I can practice at that time. Those sort of little items for now, but I think eventually it'll be such an ingrained part to where, I can talk to it on a day-to-day basis, and it can sum up my day and help me be more efficient in what I do.
What do you think the next generation of storytelling is going to look like?
I think it's going, first there's going to be a lot of noise. A lot of people have access to this now, and a lot of people can create with just words. And I think it's going to be on us as creators to find ways to stand out. And to do that, I think, is to keep that element of humanness in it, but while being efficiently getting things done.
How would you describe the perfect partnership between tech and human insight?
I think is to remember that it's a partnership. rather than debating or automatically thinking that the robot's wrong. I think it's more like, hey, what do you think about this? If they provide me with an answer that I don't like, rather than saying, okay, this is done, I know we'll work with it. More like, okay, well, let's actually have a conversation with this piece of machinery.
What advice would you give a founder or just a creator who's afraid of losing their voice in this AI wave?
Well, I always think that, the cat's out of the bag now. And you can either be mad at the bag or you can go get your cat. So find a way to, embrace this chaos.
And finally, what's your superpower? The thing that AI could never learn?
Ooh, it's a good one. I think it would be community. While, you can, I've seen AIs create these crazy X/Twitter spaces where, you're bringing people together, but I think it adds a different element when it's, myself saying, hey, let's go out and go to dinner, let's go get a drink, who else do you know, let's bring them with me, let's kind of create together and build more of a cohesive space rather than be the best person in Cincinnati space. Let's bring Cincinnati up.
That's good. Well, Philip, Terry, thank you so much. This has been great. Thank you for being with us today. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.